What's up, folks? Well, all right. So FAMU pulls it off again, or finally gets back into the win column. So 4-5 on the season now are the Rattlers, and it was much needed. This went about like how I expected it to go, honestly. So pregame, I said it would be like 35-31, and then this ends up being a 31-28 type victory. So it was about pretty close. Called it. Not quite as good as Ace, but don't let him hear me say that. Not quite as good as Ace, but still, a win is a win, and I'll take it. And I like what we saw here today in bits and pieces. Well, you know what? Let me take back that statement. I'm happy they won. I feel like there's a lot of room for improvement from a lot of aspects. But anyway, we'll get into it. We'll talk about it, of course. Again, before we roll the intro, be sure to leave a comment. So that way a few other people can get in here. But yeah, be sure to leave a comment. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of you that continue to show up and show love to the channel as always. But yeah, with that being said, intro's next. We'll get into it. We'll also talk about something very interesting that happened on the sideline that I'm really questioning right now. I don't know how. I'm just at this point, like, why is this happening? Like, it's literally clear as day, and this is the problem. But yeah, intro's next. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk about it on the other side. Let's go. All right. So, yep, FAMU wins, pulled off a nice victory. So you go to 4-5 now in the season. You still have a chance now to claw back to 500 next week against Alabama A&M. So, yeah. So what was the one thing that I saw today watching this game that had me shaking my head, and it told me, I'm like, this is what's wrong with this whole situation, this whole operation. And this is the problem. This is part of the reason for the misfortune. So we get to a situation where there's a flag. I believe it was a flag, or it was I think it was a flag because it wasn't a TV timeout. And I see Colsey looking at his play sheet. And who is behind Colsey, literally right up Colsey's ass, looking at the play sheet? Sure enough, we see Ray Matthews. Now, why is this man? You are the head coach. Coordinators are nowhere around, nowhere to be seen. Why is Ray Matthews literally got his head right up your ass looking at the play sheet? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, can someone just explain to me why this is being allowed? Because part of the reason for all these issues, that's why. I get it. Maybe I don't know what the bromance is between those two. Yeah, no, it wasn't pretty at all. The first, now, you know what? I will say, the first half, I was impressed with the defense. They were flying around. They were hitting everything that moved. They drew blood on that quarterback, Peters. They drew blood on him. They knocked him around a couple times. Knocked his helmet off, drew blood, hit him right square in the mouth. And that thing's gonna be swollen. He's gonna have to get that sewed up. That was nasty. But yeah, I came away impressed in the first half, but the second half, that defensive performance was atrocious. They held them to 7 points in the first half. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh well, if they come out like this, they got a chance to win this game. They could have won this game today 31-7. But then you come out and play some atrocious defense in the second half, guys running wide open, guys beating you deep downfield. Like, oh, hold on. Just joining. What are you talking about with bromance? Oh, I'm talking about Colsey and Ray Matthews. Because I see everybody else's comment. I'm gonna get to it. But yeah, I'm going back to like early, I think it was like the third quarter. And there's good old Ray Matthews. He's got his head right up Colsey's ass, staring down at the play sheet. And I'm just like, why is Ray Matthews like right there? Like, what is the romance? What's the bromance got to be? I don't get it. But that is part of the problem with this whole operation. I don't get it. What's up? A former player that hit the portal, says Ray Matthews. Yeah, no, that's the sad part. I believe it. And the players that have hit the portal are not the only ones that have said that. I choose not to. Maybe after the season I will, but I can go back to a particular post on Instagram that was made that I could point to where a lot of people have agreed that that's what's going on. And honestly, that's the problem. That's part of the problem. And come the offseason when changes are made, that needs to be the first one. They need to ship him down to Miami. Ship him down there with Willie. I hate we give up garbage time TDs when we have Willie. No, I agree. Let's see. I know he was on staff with Willie, but I don't remember him being up his. Yeah, because the thing is because Willie actually, he had a little bit more of a sense of pride about himself. I feel like a little bit more a bit of swagger about himself, and Willie wasn't gonna let someone just walk up on him like that and just like kind of just demand certain things be done. Like with Willie, I think he kind of knew just to sit back and stay in his place. With Willie gone now, and the safe choice being selected, I think he feels like he has just like free reign to do whatever he wants, and that's the problem. And for that, I think he needs to be one of the first people to go. He does. Let's see. It's costing coach his job. Yeah, he's costing him his job. He sure is. And they're going to be on the first thing smoking up out of Tallahassee. Both of them. That man needs to go. Honestly, Ray Matthews needs to go take a job and just go clean Willie's toilets or something, because this is this is unreal. I've never seen anything like it. UAPB folks definitely fix them refs with a big pull port plate. Yeah, had to. Yeah, no. And I will say, I did see a lot of times where their quarterback would break the pocket and it would get called back for holding, but that was mainly in the first half. But oh yeah, every time. Let's see. Whoops. Here we go. Now those folks. Won't played there. He was already forced to take the OC. Oh. Honestly, I don't know what his title. I thought he was someone that cleans the locker room or something. I thought he was like someone like that. Like, does he clean the locker room? Something like that. I know he's not a volunteer coach. He's definitely not a volunteer coach. I don't think he has any coaching experience at all. You think Coles is psychologically dependent on Ray? I don't know what it is, honestly. I don't know what it is. Like, he must have dirt on him or something. Like, he must Colsey must have been in that gambling ring that Chauncey Billups got caught in and didn't tell anybody except Ray Matthews, and Ray Matthews must really, like, have some dirt on him. That is my only that's my only guess. Because to have somebody that has no history of coaching literally breathing down your neck like that every game, every week, couldn't be me, it couldn't be any of you. Because I know if I'm thinking the way that a lot of you were thinking, I would have told him, stick his you know what up his you know what and go sit up in the stands. Because there's no way. I don't get it. Oh, so okay. He needs to just stay as what that isn't, a volunteer coach. He needs to stay as a volunteer coach and just like go sit up in the booth and just yes, exactly, little baby. That's what he is. That's what he is. And because of the fact that he was Willie's head coach in Quincy, here's what you do for guys like that. You give them a headset up in the press box and the way to where they can only listen to the plays coming in and going out. They can't say anything. You take away the little piece where he can speak, and you take that away. You just allow him to be able to hear and not be able to say a thing. Oh, don't worry. Yeah, he won't be there much longer. I'm assuming. If Colsey goes, he's gone. If they clean house altogether, Ray Matthews is gone. It's probably been his dream to have a say in calling plays and stuff, and he's living it out right now. And he probably is going to realize sooner or later he's not good at it. It works in high school, but it doesn't work not at the Division I college level. All right. Well, let's talk about the game and what everybody came here for. All right. Yeah, no, he is the real villain. He's the real villain. I mean, look, you still got to make changes on the staff at the end of the season altogether, but he is one of the main culprits. All right, let's see. So, another thing I took away from this game was there was a 3rd and 5, and I noticed our DBs are like 10 yards off the line. Why? Also, too, there was a 4th and 1 drop by UAPB in the end zone, which was a huge stop by FAMU's defense. But then they went 3 and out. And one thing I also noticed too was there was a 3rd and 10 situation where RJ did have 15 yards of space. He could have gotten a first down. Linebacker dropped like 20 yards deep. RJ could have had the first down by the time that linebacker would have read it and reacted. And instead, he chose to throw a check down that was well short of the first down. So, not sure. Yeah, no, I know. It's when you're 3rd and 5 like that, you have to be confident that you can run with guys. Like you should be able to just get up on the line, press them. You should have really help over top, basically, a 2-man, and just take away everything underneath, play man to man. So that's going to show me. And I'm like, do you feel confident that you can win those 3rd and short battles, or that you can like? No, oh yeah, I was gonna say that. No, he's a villain too. Yeah, he's a villain too. Does the defense lose focus in the second half? And what's up with that? Oh, damn. 3-man front. Prevent usually. And that was the problem last week. They had that 3-man front going last week as well, and it didn't work. And I don't know why. I don't know why they continue to just revert back to it at all. It's annoying to see. They should go 4 down linemen. We did. Even the third down and short, I believe, that went to Kanari Wiltshire that he converted for a first down that led to the 2-minute warning. Even that was run to the short side of the field. My thing is, I'm like, coming into this game, like you have a situation where this team's not good against guys in space, and we saw that. I saw that with Bethune Cookman when they played them. You got to take advantage of the mismatches, and go to the field side. We got 40 seniors on this team. There are 40 seniors on this team, or 40 guys that participated in senior day that I'm assuming and guessing will not be back next year, for sure. On top of those that will likely be in the portal at the end of the season. This team, in my opinion, is not that young. They do, sadly. Our wins still do feel like L, sadly, because this was a game where I'm like, I was telling somebody else, you should be up by like 30 points in this game. Backup should already be in. They should be playing for pride on that side. That's also true, EA. 40 seniors, 21 of them are on the defense. Yeah. I mean, like there's a way to combat that. If you get the right guys in, you cannot you shouldn't have a drop off if you get the right guys in. And that comes with honestly the right players. If you get the right coach, you can get good players. So that's the other thing that we do have to fear for next season if Colsey comes back, but I doubt he comes back. So if you get the right guy in, I do think that you can combat that. The whole losing, 20 guys on defense and the 40 guys. So I'm not going to say entirely that we're completely screwed. Let's see. Wide receiver 2 is hyped up all the time. Controlled rage, young man, especially on the run. Yeah, and I was telling somebody else this earlier. Like, I would love to see him under a new regime because I feel like I expected him to get more targets this year, but he did not get the targets. He's actually, I think someone said he's a redshirt sophomore, Goldie Lawrence. So I think if you can get him the adequate targets under a new regime, I think that he has a chance to really establish himself as an elite player. And he does have that controlled rage. I think if you really tap into it with him, the sky's the limit. And yeah, they were horrible. Absolutely horrible. Yes. Yep, you're gonna have to. I was hoping that Justice Cross would be back and maybe even Jason Riles because I mean those two, they played. First half was impressive. I liked what I saw from both of them in the first half, especially in run support. Those two had a pretty good game. Now I saw on the broadcast Justice Cross is a graduate student, so that means he likely will not be back next year. Jason Riles, I'm not sure. I hope he is back next year. But at the same time, too, I feel like wherever Kenwick Thompson goes, he may follow. Who knows? I could be wrong. But I would like to – that's another player I would like to see retained for a new staff. Oh, this is a good one. If. Yeah, Colsey, I don't. A new staff, though, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I believe he has at least one more season left. I believe he does. Again, another guy I would love to see under a new regime. So, like I said, there's talent here. There is talent here. I feel like it's not being led in the right direction. I didn't even see him. I was not. I'm gonna be real with you. I was not paying that close of attention to the sideline. I was not. I was looking strictly at the game from start to finish. Usually, I try to glance at the sideline and see, especially if I'm present. But he might have been. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So let me ask: do you trust Colsey to go to win games at NC Central, Bama State? Of those 4 games you listed just now, I only trust him to go win one of those, and that's Alcorn. Only because 'cause I'm gonna anticipate right now that they will not be that good next year again. But I don't trust him to go on the road if we have to next year to beat NC Central. I don't trust him to beat Alabama State in Montgomery next year. I don't trust him to beat JSU in Jackson next year. So of those 3 games, of those 4 games right there, I see them going 1-3. I do not trust this staff at all. So you're talking 1-3 plus maybe the money game you're going to play next year. So that's 4. Plus you're probably going to lose another game that you shouldn't lose. So that's 5. So you're looking at least 5 losses next season again. So no. Oh, see? So what? That's 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the money game, 5. That's 5 games you can already lock in to say, yes, we're going to lose next year. If this staff comes back, I'm lock in 5 because it ain't no way. Okay, so Jet was suited up. All right. That is a brutal schedule. So plus not to mention, you know, Bethune-Cookman also that's another team. That's a rivalry game. This Florida Classic, win or lose, is going to be a close one this year. I feel like if we win, it's going to be close. So that's another one. Chanis will embarrass him. That's why I don't see progress forward. I actually see regression. Yeah, you can see regression's happening right in front of us, actually. And yes, you cut the bait. You cut it. You need to cut it as soon as that Valley game's over. That Sunday or that Monday, you need to cut your losses. Because this is a game I expected them to win. I expect them to win next week. Florida Classic, questionable right now. Still, I'm kind of leaning towards the loss. Valley, I think they should win that one. I think he will. I've heard that he will. I've heard that he's still locked in. I've heard that the 6'6", 303-pound offensive lineman that they got is locked in still as well, regardless. Plus, I mean, when you think about it too, it's like if you're the kid from Rains and you're looking at the quarterback situation now, you're probably saying to yourself, regardless of who the head coach is, if I go in there next year as a true freshman, I could probably start, or at the least, maybe be a play away because I'm a backup quarterback. Thune has an air raid on her offense. Yep. They got to tackle, but they got to tackle better. The first half, I'm not really concerned about in the Classic. The second half is. Next year, I don't think so. I don't think he'll be here next year. I don't think he will. You can't. There's no way. Now, has he, because of the fact that he doesn't know the playbook, but I will say he's 10% taken a step forward this season from the 0% that he had week 1 against Howard. He's taken a 10% leap forward. That's like this much. I don't think that he has not improved, is what I'm saying basically. But I don't think he'll be here next year. You got to just wipe the slate clean. But again, tonight, good win though. Tonight was a good win. And that's the thing, he can't do it. He can't. He can beat Alcorn. He can beat Albany State. He can beat, which, by the way, if you haven't seen Albany State, by the way, they were up 35-3 on Fort Valley today. But again, he could do it against Albany State. He can do it against a Southern team. He can do it against Pine Bluff. He could do it against Alcorn. It's when it gets down to the nitty gritty, the games where you gotta have it and the lights are bright, he cannot do it. He can't. I'm sorry. He just no. I don't think that they did. I don't think they did. I know he has eligibility next year regardless, but I don't think they ever redshirted him. Against Booty Cheeks teams. When we play strong teams in conference. Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. And you saw he finally threw an interception today. I thought he was going to get through a whole season without throwing a pick. That was the one bright spot on the ledger for him, in my opinion. Is the fact I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, is he really about to play it completely safe all year? He had 3 more games to go after this week to just get through a whole season, and that hasn't been done in God knows how long. But then, made a really bad read, and he paid for it. So he's got like 7, 8, 9 touchdown passes this season and 1 interception. Yeah, he did. He did. But again, it's like, I wonder, can he do it when the lights are bright? I expect him to go out next week and have a decent game. I do. But it's that Florida Classic. Can you do it there? Can you do it at 3:30 p.m. inside Camping World Stadium with 50, 60,000 people watching you? Is that where you can do it? Yeah, that's true. That's true. He is eligible. You know, in my opinion, I mean, look, with RJ's going to start all the rest of these next 3 games. I think he should. I mean, barring something absolutely crazy happening to RJ, I would, because I mean, yeah, if you don't play 4 games, I mean, I don't think that. I think you hold him back this like next week. You could dress him for the Classic, just in case of emergency, and then dress him against Valley Thanksgiving weekend. So I mean, yeah, technically you could. So, but again, I mean, and Jet's someone else I would love to see under a new staff as well. I'd like to see maybe someone that can actually coach him up and lead him in the right direction, and let's see what he can become. Because maybe he does need to sit for another year under someone with a little more polish to them. Let's see. All right. So we had in the first quarter, that first touchdown pass for Pine Bluff is a face pass by number 96, and it led to another first down. And then after that, UAPB scored a touchdown. The next possession, FAMU did take the ball out of RJ's hands. Thad Franklin pounded away for consistent yards. 3rd and 6, RJ checks down to Haley on 4th and 2. They convert. And then on that same situation, you had another that irritated me. They had a situation on 4th and 2 again where they got lined up, and I saw it. They lined up in an I formation. They put Ricky Taylor in at fullback. They were going to just plow away. Then the play clock ran down to 7 seconds. They didn't know what to do and get lined up. And this goes back to, I think Little Baby said it. This goes back to what her point in what she said about, RJ not knowing the playbook and Colsey admitting he didn't know the playbook. Because why is it November 8th, 2025, and we can't get lined up in a simple I formation on 4th and 2 to go get a first down? Why is that? And again, it goes back to the point. He doesn't know the plays. He doesn't. Because he's trying to get 7 dubs, really 6. So he's likely going to keep his venom until the end. I think you still got to cut the cord, man. I think you still do. Whether you win the Classic or not, you're gone. And that's going to be the real test. I think I think they win next week. They should win next week. But even 6 and 6 should not be enough to keep you around. That's regression. red shirt. Also, let's see. Okay. So after 2 straight holding calls on UAPB, it set up a 3rd and 23. FAMU did get off the field there as well. And then 2 big-time throws by RJ to Goldie. Goldie Lawrence had a heck of a game tonight. It set up a 1st and goal at the 17, and then an illegal blindside block took away a TD. So, and then they did score. Okay, so yeah, they had yeah. So then it was like RJ did it, Jordan Edwards, 10-7. Huge back-to-back sacks by Brian Norris and Antonio come on. And then RJ hit Wilcher on a deep shot, and then he finally threw his first pick. And then after that, again, RJ to Goldie Lawrence on 4th down for a TD. It was about, I want to say, 4th and 5. And they converted that. It was a slant route. And then they went up 17-7. And then UAPB QB loses his helmet. The backup comes in, tosses a touchdown. It's 17-14 at that point. And then Thad Franklin converted 4th and 2. Jamal Haley finished it off. That's where you get to a 24-14 game. And then Pine Bluff scored again. Thad Franklin had a rushing TD that basically put it out of reach, 31-28. And then on that final drive that Pine Bluff scored on, I noticed it took 7 guys to tackle 1 man. Pitiful. And then UAPB would score 31-28, and that's how the game ends. FAMU recovered the onside kick. All right, let's see where we got. RJ's terrible body language coming off the field, pouting, cussing, let him go. No, I've heard he's not getting NIL. I've heard, and I wouldn't give it to him. Because whoever or wherever his next stop is, you ain't getting no NIL money. He's not a starter, in my opinion. Nowhere. Okay. Let's see. So looking at the box score, so he was 17 of 25, 2 TDs, 1 interception, 235 yards passing today. Thad Franklin went over 100 yards today, so I guess he must be doing fine from that turf toe. 1 TD for him. Jamal Haley, 26 carries. See, that's what happens when you give the running back his carries like he's supposed to. You get 26 carries, you get 122 yards. That's pounding the rock. I don't know why they got away from that. And then Jamal Haley, 76 yards on 7 carries, 1 TD. In total, tonight, this team had 206 yards of rushing. So when this team rushes for over 200 yards, you see good things happen. And then also, too, again, Goldie Lawrence, 5 receptions, 95 yards, 1 TD. I thought they should have given him 1 more catch so he can go over 100. Kanari Wilcher, 4 receptions, 56 yards. If it had not been for, I believe, a bad blocking call, he would have had a TD tonight as well. We're talking about 38-28. And then Jordan Edwards, 2 nice receptions today, 33 yards, 1 TD tonight as well. Actually, whoa. Wow. Oh, man. Fred McNair couldn't get it done. But again, Southern's a really bad football team. They are a really bad football team. I think that's the only reason why Pine Bluff put up 40 on them last week. The teams you skated by with a dub this year flipped to L's. Yes, Southern gets all new staff. They're looking for a winner. Alcorn may get better. Yeah. No, and that's true. Like, you need to just go ahead and make a switch now and try to get back further ahead of everybody, or who you can get ahead of while you can. Because a lot of these teams are going to make changes. Southern's going to try to really make a home run higher this offseason. So, yeah, this is why I say, like, I have 0 confidence in Colsey if you bring him back. You're looking at it like 7-5, 6-6. Alabama State's freshman defense becomes sophomores. They have played this offense before. JSU, NC State, and Orangeburg. I don't see many dubs next year. Yeah, not with Colsey. That's why you got to move on. All right, so let's see. Jeez, they gave up 300. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. 345 yards passing today by the FAMU secondary was allowed. 4 TD passes today. But I will say, rushing wise, Pine Bluff couldn't do anything. So FAMU did stop the run on 28 carries in total. Pine Bluff had only 95 yards rushing. Man, I tell you. This secondary, man, and it got exposed last week. This secondary, oh my gosh, dude. Oh, they got to make changes. How do you recruit 100, 400 defensive backs and you give up 300 yards? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And you're 100% correct. That's what I'm saying. You recruited 400 defensive backs. You've given up 300 yards, 345 yards through the air. You're a defensive-minded guy. And this is what you allow. His pitch must be really, really freaking good because you got 400 DBs. But it's exactly, I just don't get it. We had 2 offensive linemen under 6'1" and 260 pounds at center and guards. And that's the problem. That's the problem. That's also the problem. We're undersized in the trenches. I said this with Bishop and B-Dot last Tuesday night, and I've already said it. We need to get nastier in the trenches. Right now, we're too sexy. We're not nasty enough. We don't have the edge enough. I like guys like Ricky Taylor. I like them. I like him. He's a cool dude. But it's like it's a lot that needs to be added to that offensive line. We need guys that are hungry. Like I said Tuesday night, I want guys on this offensive line that have an edge to them, that don't care to get at least one personal foul penalty, that will jack somebody up, or, again, like I've stated before, I want some dudes that, hunt wild boar and rock AC/DC t-shirts and wear mullets. That's what I want. Get you somebody that's gonna plow somebody. Get you guys that are gonna maul a defender like a bear. Guys that can get past the first level, up to the linebacker, clear out of safety, and spring your running back. That's what I want to see. Because 6'1", 260 ain't gonna cut it playing offensive line. Not if you want to win the championship or get back to championship form. You need guys with an edge. And this is why hitting a home run higher next in the offseason is so important. Because if you do, now you have the horses to compete with and play against that grueling schedule that's going to come up next year. Because you're going to have to go on the road for 3 big games next year. But let's live in the moment. Again, the FAMU defense had no turnovers today, no fumble recoveries, no interceptions. So maybe next week we'll see what happens. All right. Well, with that, that's all I got. Well, let's go ahead and give a quick little score update before we get up out of here. So from what judging from it right now, Georgia won over Mississippi State today, 41-21. Texas Tech continues to look good. They won 29-7 over BYU. FAMU won by 3 today over Arkansas Pine Bluff. Texas A&M, I think actually this score needs to be updated. Texas A&M, where is it? Jeez, where is it? Oh, yeah, Texas A&M, they won today 38-21, or 38-17, my fault. 38-17 victory today for Texas A&M, which that SEC championship is going to be a sight to see. Oregon won today 18-16 over Iowa. Yes, 18-16 over Iowa. That's the final. And then as well too, all Vanderbilt actually leads. Ooh, where is it? Yeah, Vanderbilt actually leads Auburn right now 38-30 in the fourth quarter as it stands. And at Florida State, Clemson has already kicked off. Navy, Notre Dame has already kicked off. And LSU, Alabama, they play at 7:30 tonight on ABC. Yeah, that bottom line needs to be updated. All right. Either coach doesn't know how to pick them, or doesn't know how to coach him up. Seems like with him, it's Jimmy's and Joe's because sexism doesn't get it done. I feel like it's like 50. I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like he doesn't know how to really pick them and evaluate them, but I also feel like there's a little bit of they don't know how to coach him up. Because there are some guys on this team that I would again love to see back next year. There are some, but then at the same time too, I look at some of these other guys, and I'm like, I don't know. And this is where I go back to actually, you know what? Because of this comment, let me bring it back up. Because of this comment, I go back.
People. And you can never have any team chemistry for this reason. Mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people. So if everybody doesn't buy into the same principles and values of the organization and the same high standard, you're never going to be successful. Just like our spring practice right now. You know what my goal with spring practice is? Get the right guys on the bus, get them in the right seats, and get the wrong guys off the bus. So one of these days, you're going to be working in an organization, and somebody's going to try to do that to you. So which one of those people do you want to be? Do you want to be somebody they're trying to get off the bus because you're satisfied with mediocre performance? Because you can never have any team chemistry in your organization if everybody's not committed to the same standard and the same things. You know, when I worked for Bill Belichick,
it goes back to that. Mediocre people don't like high achievers. High achievers don't like mediocre people. And I feel like we have, I want to say it's 50-50 right now. You're right, though. Yeah, no, it is some good games today. Again, I think that SEC championship between Alabama and Texas A&M, if it holds up this way, is going to be really good. But yeah, no, Nick Saban's 100% spot on. I know some people have mixed opinions about Nick Saban and stuff, but that right there, what he just said, it's facts. And it's more evident than ever right now with what we've got going on. You need to get the right people on this bus. You need to get the wrong people off this bus. So we can get back to where we want to go. But with that, all right, I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you so much, folks, for joining me this evening. Again, we appreciate all of you that have, tuned in, all 54 of you across 3 platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter this evening. We appreciate you very much. Make sure you tune into the Rattler Roundup podcast Tuesday night. Me and Bishop, I want to get the new AD on, but I'm waiting for the announcement to happen first. So when the announcement happens, then I'll reach out. As well, too, make sure you tune into the Run and Gun podcast Wednesday night. Me, Ace, Mr. Sasser. We are going to have Keith on from Fifth Quarter FAMU, so he'll be our guest picker as well this week. So we'll see how he does with picks compared to, Troy and compared to, Allison and Ryan and Queen Bee Small. Yes, sir. Definitely. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, so make sure y'all tune into all of those. And then as always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys as always. Next week, we'll be back doing the same thing again, same time. Countdown to kickoff will be live at 2 p.m. for FAMU and Alabama A&M. And we'll be back doing a post-game recap afterwards as well, too. Yeah, dude, he does not care. It's even worse in public. No, he has no filter. He really doesn't. Like, some people think I'm bad. I try to at least cap it, He's worse than me. He's way worse than me. Let me say this. Players from the past talk about being drained. Facilities on stupid. Yeah, and this is going to be a question that when we are able to get the new AD on once it's announced, I want to talk to him about that because I want to talk to him and ask him what's his plan to get those facilities fixed and how can they get fixed. So that is something for the new AD to have him to ask him. But yeah, y'all take care. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed. We will see you Tuesday